You are listening to the Evolve Your Intimacy podcast with Dr. Stephanie, where it is my goal to educate, enlighten, and evolve your intimacy. You can find me at evolveyourintimacy.com to learn more about counseling, self-study courses, sex, and the retreats that we have to offer. This show contains discussions about relationships, intimacy, and sex, and is meant for those who are 18 years and older. Now, sit back, relax, listen up, and get ready to evolve your intimacy. Welcome to this episode of Evolve Your Intimacy with Dr. Stephanie. I'm Dr. Stephanie, and today we are going to have a thought-provoking episode as we sit down with Rex Radiation, who is the spouse of Rebel Ryder and a dedicated mental health practitioner. Rex shares his insights on the profound connection between mental health and physical health and how it influences our interactions within society. With a unique perspective that combines personal and professional experiences, Rex dives into the intricate ways in which mental health well-being impacts our physical responses and our overall quality of life. From unraveling the stigma surrounding mental health to practical tips for holistic wellness, this interview offers a compelling exploration of the mind-body connection and its relevance to today's world. This is one episode that will leave you inspired and enlightened. But first, let's hear from our sponsors. Ladies, are you ready to take your intimacy to the next level? And gentlemen, do you want to add more tools to your sexual repertoire? Head over to our website, evolveyourintimacy.com, to learn more about intimacy, relationships, and sex counseling. And if you enjoy our content and our guests, we would love to have you help us grow. Go to our website, evolveyourintimacy.com, to follow, like, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts. Now, let's get back to the show. You are listening to the Evolve Your Intimacy podcast with Dr. Stephanie, and I am Dr. Stephanie. Now, let's get back to the show. Well, I want to welcome to the show Mr. Rex Radiation. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very good today.
Yeah?
Oh, I am. It's a good day. It's a good life. I wake up happy. I go to bed happy. It's good.
Well, I mean, when you have a partner that's as beautiful as yours and you wake up next to her, I don't know why you could wake up or how you could wake up in a bad mood.
True. But that surface beauty is nice, but it's everything underneath is what makes her so beautiful. She is an amazing human.
Well, tell our listeners who you are and who we're talking about.
Okay. I'm Rex Radiation. I'm in the adult industry. I'm a recent graduate of Arizona State University with a degree in counseling and applied psychology, something near and dear to my heart, which started my conversations with Dr. Stephanie at an event. But I am married to the famous Rebel Ryder. She is the queen of all things anal. She is the sweetest girl next door. Not gone bad, just gone wild. She's a fully autonomous human in every right. She is capable of making her own decisions better than I am, better than any human I know. And I am just excited to wake up and be her husband every day.
So we met at an event. I think it was were we in Miami?
We were in Miami at that little bar.
Yes, at the hotel.
That's right.
I was just talking about, people were asking me about mental health, and you kind of like took a second look when I said that I was a mental health professional. You're like, oh, hold on, come back. I just graduated. Yes. And we had the best conversation. And so I wanted to bring you on today because you have the inside viewpoints from the porn industry, mental health, all of that fun stuff. And you go to all of these events. That's what I want to talk about. Of course, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff like how you got into this. But what about mental health? What made you want to go and get your degree in mental health?
It's funny. It started years ago. I had a special needs daughter. She was born she needed a trach, a G-tube, heart monitor, club feet, the horseshoe kidney. I mean, she just had an array of issues, and it was a struggle for her, and it was a struggle for my family. And at that time, shortly thereafter she was born, I ended up becoming a single father of a special needs girl and raising two other daughters. So it was me and a bunch of little girls, and one was special needs. It was tough. I mean, it was extremely tough, and I was always working with my other two daughters who weren't getting as much attention. The special needs daughter required so much, and I realized how important it was to support their mental health, to help them realize that they're a functioning part of this family, even though they can't be in suctioning my other daughter's trach and other things, to get them all assimilated in. And all the bells and whistles went off. Then you have to stay on top of their mental health, or they're just gonna cavitate, and it just led to other things. I ended up in blue collar jobs. Growing up in the South Side of Chicago, ex-military, I did so much that was wrapped up in that and supporting my children. I never had a chance to go back to school. So finally, when I met my wife, my children are all grown. Is that Then I had the opportunity to go back to school, and she's like, "What would you like to go back to school for?" And I thought about nursing a little bit, and I said, no, I don't want to work with the bodies. I want to work with the brain. I want to know people, what makes them tick, and talk to them at that level, because I also really believe if you have really good mental health, it also does impact your physical health and your how you physically respond to other people in society. So that's what drove me.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, their
Yes.
pain specialists or pain management doctors will also send their client or patient, excuse me, to mental health counseling, because the brain, if we're feeling depressed, we hurt more in our bodies. So that is a very common, I guess, pair duo is pain management and mental health counseling. So, how did you meet? How did you meet Rebel Ryder?
That's a story. I was never going to get married again after I became a single dad, years ago, 30 plus years ago. I was done. I said, I'll date, I'll goof around, but I'm never going to get married again. And I got into other activities. I was in the BDSM community for a little while. Then I got into, about 12 years ago, I got into the rope community, and I fell in love with rope because it was creative. It was art. It was artistic. And when I say rope, I'm talking about shibari and kimbaku, where you're doing creative ties, not just tying somebody up for the sake of hog tying them or putting their hands behind their back and playing with them, but literally for the sake of creating something beautiful. I think I showed you some of our pictures of what we've done. So I was at an art
Mhm.
studio 7+ years ago in downtown Phoenix. A friend said, "Hey, can you come and do some of your rope art, and we'll make it a monthly thing?" And I said, "Absolutely." And my very first month there, which was in June of 2016, um, here comes Rebel Ryder coming in there with her girlfriend at the time. She very, very conservative, very quiet, very not exposed to a lot. She just come in on the unction of somebody else encouraging her, go see art, go do this. She shows up and she's watching wide eyed, like I can see she's interested. And I didn't know her, I didn't know who she was, but I knew where to find her because a friend said she's got a little profile on a little social site. And so I went to it and I wrote her and I said, "If you come back next month, you seemed interested, I'll tie you up." She jumped all over it. She said, "Yes, yes." That was a Friday night. I tied her up that Friday. And she says, I want more rope. And I said, "Well, I have a studio at my house. I have a rope studio. If you would like to come out," I said, "bring your friends, bring your family. I live out in the middle of the desert. Don't want you to freak out." She came by herself. She came completely by herself. She
Oh,
says,
wow.
"They didn't want to drive this far out. These weren't interested in it. I'm here." And I said, You're aware that I made it very clear that when I tie in my studio for safety, for in case I have to cut you out of rope, I tie you in the nude. Not me, you." And she goes, "No, I heard you." And I said, "And you're completely comfortable with that?" She goes, "I just got a feeling about you." And I was like, "I got a feeling about you." And I tied her up that evening. We did so much rope till my fingers were sore because I just wanted to keep putting her in rope. And when we got her out of rope, she just never left. It was the funniest thing. We clicked. And she had told me that the month before she saw something in my eyes. She goes, "I wanted to go to coffee with you, but I didn't know who you were. I didn't know anything about you. I was so grateful that you wrote me." From then on, we haven't left each other's side in over 7 years, and I'm tickled to death being her husband. We got married 14 months later, August of the following year, and we've just celebrated our 6th wedding anniversary on August 26th. So yeah, we're stupid happy with each other, with a big age gap, but we're stupid happy with each other.
You guys are, I don't call it stupid happy. I think it's amazing happy. But you honestly, when I was visiting with you guys and talking with you guys, you could just feel the love for each other radiating off of you. And that's interesting because of her profession. And you would think, well, and I guess common misconception about the porn industry is that the female performers all have, well, everybody has mental issues, and they have daddy issues, or they have some sort of, why would they do this type of mentality? Because society can't understand that sex work is work, and it's beautiful. But you guys really click with one another, and it's just really empowering to watch.
Thank you for that. It's just something that we've always, I think, because from day one we respected each other, was made it the easiest part. Rebel stands out. She's very unique because it's always assumed that these girls in the industry come into the industry because they have no other option in life. They've got, like you said, daddy issues. They need some money. They don't feel they've got a good enough education or whatever. That's not true with Rebel. Rebel, when I met her, she was interning at an aerospace company. And then shortly before we got married, she went into this aerospace company full time. She started working on the auxiliary power units for Air Force One while she was there. I mean, she's a fascinating electrical engineer. She's super smart and super bright. So a year and a half into our marriage, 2 years into the marriage, when she's sitting in the bathtub and she's crying, and I'm like, she's only cried 3 times since we've been married. And this is the first time I've ever seen her cry. And I'm like, what's the matter, baby? And she says, I love this job, but she had started doing a little bit of camming and a little bit of stuff on the side. She goes, I want to be in the industry full time. I want to commit myself to this. And hearing a woman that's making $80,000 a year, at this aerospace company with great insurance and benefits and vacations, she's got a salary, say, I want to walk away from it to go into the industry full time. It was a challenge for maybe a half a second. And then the decision was either I'm going to support her 100% and respect her autonomy, or I'm going to try to manipulate. Oh, honey, you shouldn't do that. You should. And I've always told her, I said, you have complete autonomy with me as your husband. And she's only given me that in return. And she made the decision, and we've never turned back. It's just been, it's been the ride that you've seen it be. And our relationship is so much built on that one decision of respecting each other's autonomy to make the right decisions.
So do you participate in porn scenes as well? Are you are you an actor?
I do. I'm a performer, mostly for Tadpole Studios out of Chicago. Whenever we go to the conventions, Ted from Tadpole sponsors Rebel's booth most of the time. He is one of the funniest humans on the planet. He's a character. He's like me. He's a middle-aged, portly guy with an average-sized penis, and he wants to have sex on camera too. Most of the guys in his group look like us. I mean, we're just that. Nobody's probably over 5'6" or 7. We're short, stocky, average guys, but we love the industry as much as all the fit, buff guys do too. And so he's created this agency, and people want to work with him. And it's not because of what the guys look like, but because of his integrity. And we became friends because of Rebel Ryder. He said, oh, I would love to shoot with Rebel. If you guys are in Chicago, and we were in Chicago visiting family members, he says, I would love to do a shoot with you guys. And we said, let's give him a shot. And we clicked. It was an instant clicking. And so I've been shooting with him. Plus I do my own stuff for ManyVids and OnlyFans and stuff like that. I do a lot of just one of my favorites is The Russian Stepfather, because I have a Russian background. And so I have particularly one friend, Taylor Nicole, is one of my favorite people to shoot with, because she always plays up on, she's always either stole my credit card or stole something, and she always has to pay it back. And it's always, oh, you're stealing money from me again, so you have to pay back with your body. So yeah, I'm the Russian stepdad, and she's always ended up having to pay me back with her sexual gifts, and that's one of our favorite films. The film I've shot with Kit Lacey and Sarah Arabic and others, and yes, I'm having a blast.
I can tell. So going back to that day when she was in the bathtub and she was having that emotional response to what society would say is an amazing job. And she was expressing that she wasn't getting anything out of it. She wasn't fulfilled. She wasn't happy. Did you see a shift in her mental health from that point on when she decided to let that go and move into what she really loved doing?
It was a transition. It wasn't instantaneous. One of the things that I respected about her decision was that it wasn't that she hated the job. She felt like she wasn't being loyal to them, because she was flying on the weekends, and sometimes she would be gone for 3 days or 4 days, Friday through Monday. And she had salary at Boeing, but she said, I don't feel like I'm giving them my 5 days a week or whatever, 6 days, that because she moved up to managerial like this. And she said, I feel like it's dishonorable to collect their money and yet only work for them 4 days a week, 5 days a week, when I should be more. And it wasn't out of like job dissatisfaction, but it was her integrity. She goes, this I could do every single day. I can make customs. I mean, she already knew what she wanted to do. I can film shorts. I can do events and hopefully get noticed and blow up. And she did. She followed her pattern. And watching her transition from, okay, I feel like I'm doing something wrong in an honorable, what she felt like was an honorable job, but she felt like she was doing it dishonorably because she wasn't giving it her full time, to going into this lifestyle, this adult industry. There was a fear period of like, okay, did I make the right decision? Are we going to have enough to pay insurance? And we do. I retired quite well, but she always wants to think like, leave your retirement alone, leave all that, and I want to be the provider. I want to do this. I'm like, honey, you never really have to work again. I've retired well. And she goes, yeah, but I don't want to think that way. I want to think like I have to do this and I have to survive. I was like, fine. She wants to feel strong, that like she could carry this family if she needed to. And she's quite honest. She says, you're 30 years older than me. You're not going to live forever. She says, so I just want to be ready, and I want to be able to do this and not say, well, I just lived off of my husband's. I married somebody who had one foot in the grave, which I don't have a foot in the grave, but she's gotten that. No, not anywhere. I don't even go anywhere near graveyards. I have no feet in the grave. Oh, goodness sakes. But yes, watching her mental health transition from, I know I want to make this decision for the right reasons. I want to be integrous, so I'm going to leave there. But there was that transition, and it was only a matter of months, and she got her rhythm going, and she just blossomed. She blossomed. She's a person, if you know her in person, she doesn't like to have to talk to people unnecessarily. She's not the person to call on the phone and ask about the insurance. She's not the person to, check on this and that, make the doctor's appointment. It's always, she hands me the phone. Can you do this for me? But when she's at an event and she's talking to her fans, she wants to talk to every single one of them. She wants to be fully present. She loves the industry so much. She loves her fans. She tries to give them the best that she can. Every time she always makes a point to put a hand on them, to make human contact, let them know, not like, oh, hey, hi, how are you? Don't get near me. She hugs, she's a squeezer. She's always makes that physical contact and says, yes, I'm so glad you're talking to me. I have plenty of time for you. And it's amazing to see how she's come into herself and her confidence, how it grows and grows and grows. It's insane. I get the biggest kick out of it, watching her growth.
We are having such a great conversation with our guest today, but we have to take a really quick commercial break. But during this commercial break, it would be a great time for you to like, subscribe, or follow us on all of our social media accounts. By doing this, you get exclusive insider access to specials on merchandise and sexy equipment. Oh, you'll get a glimpse of Dr. Stephanie rocking their fun outfits. So what are you waiting for? So subscribe, like, or follow to Evolve Your Intimacy on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok today. I will see you online. Are you in an ethical non-monogamous relationship and enjoy giving oral sex? When you go to your doctor and receive a comprehensive STD test, do you get your throat swabbed? Did you know that you can get gonorrhea and chlamydia in your throat? And those bacterial infections can spread quickly and are often asymptomatic when in the throat. I am excited to partner with Shameless Care, a lifestyle healthcare company that understands our specific needs. They understand how people connect and play and can get you with doctors who understand as well. There are no telehealth companies that allow for inexpensive throat swab tests for gonorrhea and chlamydia, even though most people in our lifestyle don't use protection when we have and give oral sex. Shameless Care offers all testing that is relevant to our lifestyle when you need it and at affordable prices. So go to shamelesscare.com and subscribe to receive your customized STD test directly to your door. Your test arrives in discreet packaging and comes with a prepaid label for easy return. You can receive your results by text message or by logging in to their HIPAA-compliant patient portal. Use promo code EYI at checkout to receive $30 off your first order. Subscribe today and receive your discreet test delivered directly to your door every 3 months to ensure your sexual health is always ready for those exciting lifestyle experiences. Again, go to shamelesscare.com, use promo code EYI at checkout, and receive your $30 off your first order. Your sexual health matters, and Shameless Care understands the importance of making sure you are safe. You are listening to the Evolve Your Intimacy podcast with Dr. Stephanie, and I am Dr. Stephanie. Now, let's get back to the show. When it comes to the misconceptions with mental health in the porn industry, I'm going to go ahead and just throw myself under the bus. The first time I've ever really been around a porn event was when I met you guys in Miami, and it was at Exotica.
Oh, wow.
That was the first time. Because I've done a whole lot of swingers stuff, and I go on all these swingers, the open lifestyle relationship-wise, but I've never been to anything like that. And I didn't really know what to expect. My dad had literally passed away the week before. It was, just 100%. I knew that I already had this booked and I needed to go. And I thought, oh, man, there's going to be people just having sex everywhere. The common misconceptions, right? Because I'm dumb. Yeah. And I didn't know. I was not dumb. I was ignorant to it. But that's not what it was at all. It was very intelligent human beings sharing
being professional and respectful. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it was shocking. There were the idiots. There are the young performers who are the idiots. And I'm not going to say that they're not in there, but probably I would say 75% were very mature, very professional, very understanding, and it wasn't about sex to them or videoing. It was about meeting each other and making those personal connections.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
When you
nailed that.
Yeah. When you started your mental health, going to the school to be a mental health professional, you shared with me that you were really, kind of hesitant because of the work you were doing and the work that Rebel did. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, because I wanted to be transparent, integrous, and I had a concern originally, like, hey, what if somebody finds my Twitter account and sees that this 60-year-old guy that wants to give counseling and therapy to people of all ages, he's having sex with a bunch of young girls that are 18 to 25-year-old, and he's just a creeper, and he's married to somebody 30 years younger than him. This guy must be in it to be perving on. He must be in school to be perving on and hanging with all these young people, and that was so far from the case. when we got in the industry at the same time that I was getting ready to start school, and the first thing that I learned was that everybody has a story. Everybody has, and guys and girls alike have. It almost seems like they all can trace the beginning to some point where they felt like they lost control, like somebody took their control away from them, and that's marked them. That's made a mark on them that they wanted to get over. And some of them, they go into the industry specifically to like push through it. Then, okay, you want to do this to me, then I'm gonna let everybody do this to me, and I'm gonna power through. And when I learned that and learned how to I guess I don't know if the word is to minister to, but to give, just to listen, give lots of listening and a little bit of advice, that it impacts them and it helps them get through this. Where some of the people at my school, that were instructors, they would tell quite openly that if they get somebody that's been in the adult industry, they try to talk them out of the adult industry. And I try to talk them through the adult industry instead of out of it. Do this with a sense of pride and professionalism, with a clear head. Do it because you're mentally healthy, not because you're mentally challenged.
I have so many people that know what I do, obviously, because hell, I'm out there. But they'll tell me, well, these porn actresses and these people. Oh my goodness, I get
these people.
These people.
Yes.
Like have 5 heads or something. I'm not part of the porn community, but hell, I feel like I'm family now. So I'm gonna keep going and hanging out with you guys. But it's so interesting. The counselors that I will, when they hear that I'm working with, they're like, well, are you talking them out of it? Are you telling them how terrible it is? And I'm like, no, I'm not talking anybody out of anything. My questions are, number one, is this consensual? Are you being forced to do anything you don't want to do? Number two,
exactly.
Are you mentally healthy? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you doing things to make sure that you're having some safe boundaries, safe agreements? Like are you putting those measures in place? And then I always ask them, are you doing things safely? Are you being safe? And thankfully, the porn industry, you get tested every 7 days, and there's a lot of really clean, healthy individuals. But sometimes, even with the performers who aren't mainstream and are maybe just performing at the strip club or starting their camming, and they're having sex with a lot of people that maybe that aren't getting tested as much. I work them through that. And I'm like, okay, so let's talk about how can we do this in a safe way? How can we have those conversations with potential partners about, when was the last time you got tested? Do you have your results? Because not everybody is going to go into that mainstream where the testing is so stringent. And sometimes they just start filming. And so I want to make sure that they're emotionally, physically, and mentally safe. Not try to talk them out of anything. Let's just get you through whatever you need through.
I agree. I think and it helps them to be able to look back on their career in the adult industry, not with shame, but with confidence. Like, I made a difference and I raised the bar and I did good. That was one of the things that Rebel, she'd heard the horror stories of sometimes people exhibiting diva behavior or not, being on time on set or coming in not coherent, under the influence of things. And I said, you raise the bar on this. You do it. Raise the bar. Be the best. Be where you're supposed to be on time. If they say show up in makeup, have your makeup done and all this. And it was easy to her because of her, when she started as a professional in the adult in the aerospace industry, she just carried that professionalism over with her. And that's one of the reasons why some of these agents or agencies use her again and again and again, is because they say, you call Rebel, she'll be there on time. And you call Rebel, she'll do it. And so she takes that good mental health and applies it to her work. And that's why she's gorgeous and she's beautiful and she does amazing magic tricks with her butthole. But it's her mental health is what shines through.
Yeah. I love how you said she does amazing things with her butthole. That when we first met, we were talking, you and I, and having our, talking about mental health and nothing about the porn industry. It was just about, your school and what, I think I I don't even know if I asked you, but I kind of voluntold you that I was going to be your mentor and we were going to get through this.
Yes.
I was just so fascinated. But then you showed me a video and I was in awe. And there were so many different elements to this, my seeing this video for the first time. And so for the listeners, he showed me a video of his partner, Rebel Ryder, doing, how would you explain that video? I mean,
it's her pinned tweet, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's her pinned tweet. It looks like she has a very girthy, at first, it looks like she has a very girthy butt plug in. And she's in the bathtub with her butt in the air, looking over her shoulder, very proud of herself, like. And then she starts pulling this out, and she's pulling it out, and she's pulling it out. And it's kind of funny because it was her first time that she'd put it all the way in. She even had a moment, you could see the look on her face, like, wait, there's more? And she pulls this thing out the length of her arm and further, and then like pulls out, and you see this thing, and she kind of gives it a bite, like, because she knows she has a clean butt. But it's the shock effect. Everybody that sees that goes there. It's instant jaw drop. Like, where did it go? And because a part of my psychology was the anatomy, we had to know a little bit about the human body. I said, oh, well, it actually goes past the sigmoid colon, up the descending, across the transverse, and just to the edge of the ascending colon. And they're just like, are you kidding me? I said, no, I could draw you a picture, but yeah, that's where it goes.
And I looked at you, and the first thing I think I said to you is, I have logistical questions.
Yes. Everybody does. Where does it go?
Yeah. And how, and you didn't draw it for me, but you told me exactly what you just said. And then I think my next question was, how do you figure this out about yourself? Like, do you just go around sticking stuff up your rear end? And she was like, yeah, pretty much. And I was like, okay. So it was very erotic. I thought I wasn't sure about what I was going to see or how I was going to feel about it, but it was very erotic to me. I was like, holy crap. So I have the being turned on, these logistical questions, and then thinking, how, like, is this even safe? And so you guys were so amazing to set me down, and you're like, okay, let's talk about this. And she, told me how she got to where she could do that. Because you just don't start shoving something that's 3 feet long up your rear end. And she's like, yeah, no, I've trained for this. And so when she said she trained for it, that threw me for another loop. I was like, I mean, you can train for this? What is going on with the world? I just need to know all of this. And so how did she, I guess mentally, how do you prepare for that, in your opinion? To train
well, I guess
for?
one of the things is to understand what's the root of Rebel's motivation. Somebody asked her once, are you a sadist or a masochist because you do all these wild things? And she answered so beautifully. She says, neither. She goes, I'm a challengeist. She goes, I love a challenge. If somebody says, oh, you'll never be able to do this, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to win. And I've got some stories behind that too. But it's just, she faces everything with a challenge. If you tell her she can't, she's going to try her best to do. And so we definitely started with steps. One of the things that I learned quite quickly was to never challenge her in butt stuff, because we actually, one of our stories is we were playing and we had what I thought was a larger size dildo, and I just put it by her butthole, and I just pushed. I said, "Oh, that'll never fit." And she goes, "No, it'll fit in time. Maybe not today, but it will." And I said, "No, it'll never fit." I said, "The physiology of here's your little tiny little butt, and here's this thing. It'll never happen." And she goes, "Bet." I said, "Bet what?" She goes, "However far I get it in my butt, we got to put it in your butt." And I laughed. I said, ha, ha, ha. Oh, I remember throwing my head back. I said, that's a bet I'll never lose. I said, you sure you don't want to bet money or anything that you want to buy? She goes, no. However far I can get it on my butt, you got to put it that far in your butt. And I laughed it off. And she goes, trust me. I said, no. I know you will never say never to this woman, because it wasn't a week later. She goes, go ahead now, put it in. And it didn't go in very far, but I didn't think it was going to go in at all. And then it went in, and I realized, oh my God, what have I done? Yeah. So I never bet her with anything going in. She'll show me toys she's got. She goes, "You want to bet?" I said, "Nope, nope," because I don't want that thing anywhere near my butt. After that first time, I learned my lesson. I didn't lose the bet, but yeah, it was, oof. Yeah. Anything. We used to have chickens all over out here at my ranch. But coyotes get them, and weasels get them, and stuff like that. And if you don't keep them caged up, then they can't protect them out here, and which is kind of sad because I like everything roaming free.
Yeah.
But I just had a bag of dried mealworms to feed the chickens, and I grabbed a handful up, and I said, I put it by my face, "Honey, I bet you won't." And she grabs into the bag and goes chomp, chomp, chomp before I could finish the sentence. I said, damn it. So I had to eat mealworms and that was it. 2 times I said, I'll never challenge her. Other people could challenge her, but I'm never going to challenge her at anything because she's just so determined to win. And so she is a challenger. So how did she start training? And then for us, we started with, she had never done anal prior to me. Actually, she doesn't mind me telling her sexual history. She lost her virginity at 18 to a young man who was also a virgin. No lube, no anything. He slaps on the condom, stabby, yay, sex.
Yay.
And he was done. Yay, and I'm done. And that was it. And she was like, she tried it 2 more times with the same young gentleman. And she goes, I'm just going to focus on my studies. So it was for the next 4 years of her school, she never had sex. Mm-hmm. And when she got with me, she was dating a young girl, but that was it. I said, so you haven't had sex in 4 years? She says, no. I said, have you ever done this? Have you ever done this? Have you ever given a blowjob? Have you ever had cum in your mouth? There was a bunch of no's. So we made a bucket list together that very first night that she came over when we had sex. We made a bucket list and we started anal that night, and she loved it. She just loved it. And it moved up from there to put a small toy in with me in. And she says, we can go bigger. And it just got to where now she goes to Prague and she can have 3 men in her butt at once, or 2 men, and she's got her fist in her butt too, masturbating one while the other's in there. It's just, but yet everything goes like this. Doosh, that's her magic power.
That was my next question, I think, to you guys is,
nope.
Does it fall out?
Nope. It's still pinky tight. Like I go, and no, it's just, yeah, it's crazy. I know we're supposed to be talking about mental health now, but her butt is amazing. Kind of took a little side rail off here, but to even do that for her, here's the secret about Rebel that she doesn't mind me telling, is she's highly claustrophobic. One of the reasons why she doesn't like deep, long kisses is because you're in her face and you're blocking her view. Yet when she's as a performer, she'll have 3 guys on top of her all vying for the same hole, and another guy going in her mouth and another guy right here. And she is smothered with people, and she pushes through because to her, it's a challenge. And she's that challengeist. And so for her mental health, she wants to face the things that she's afraid of and have victory over them every time. And that's why she does it again and again and again.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Yes, she's amazing.
Let's just remind everyone that this is Evolve Your Intimacy, and I am Dr. Stephanie from Evolve Your Intimacy. We are having an amazing discussion, but we need to take a quick break, so stay right there and we'll be right back. Are you interested in learning more about the topics that we discuss on the show? Head over to ASN Lifestyle Magazine, where you can read all the articles that I publish about relationships, intimacy, and sex. When it comes to the lifestyle and the adult industry magazines, look no further than ASN Lifestyle Magazine. They are the natural go-to for everything lifestyle and adult content. Get your free digital issue today at asnlifestylemagazine.com. And if you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to ask Stephanie. You are listening to the Evolve Your Intimacy podcast with Dr. Stephanie, and I am Dr. Stephanie. Now, let's get back to the show.
Well, you guys make a very good, solid couple. And people think,
we talk a lot.
Yeah, and people think, performers, sex workers, they live in the slums, or they're either, living the high life. They don't think about, you said you had chickens, you have a farm. You don't think about that. Rebel posted on one of her social media pages of her welding, and you don't think about, they have normal lives. It's
We
not
do.
always
Very normal.
about their work. It's like, you go to work from 8 to 5. Well, they go to work from whatever to whatever, and they're doing their job. You're doing your job. Just because theirs involves some sort of sexual activity doesn't mean that it's any less than what you're doing. And so
Yes.
people just need to get a grip. You have normal lives. You're normal people.
We do. We are. We go to the grocery store like everybody else. We do everything normal. We're out here working on my little ranch and doing stuff. And it's just, if you didn't know we were in the adult industry, you would never know we were in the adult industry, because we don't live that way.
Yeah.
Or not, we don't do it in public that way.
Sure. So one of the questions I asked you that night was, what do you want to do with this degree?
Well, I've applied for the master's program at Arizona State University because I would like to be fully licensed to do counseling and therapeutic therapy and stuff. I very much want to listen to people's stories. When I grew up, I always was under the impression that a good counselor was an elderly man that gave out sage advice and, just really gave you a direction in life. And you could go to them and say, what do I do about this? But what I've learned is it's so different with talk therapy now, and particularly my favorite, Carl Rogers, that he just believes you should love every patient, love every client, that is, and just love them dearly and be invested in them without, crossing that barrier of, client counselor, but still loving them and being deeply interested and listening to them, and always, just feeding back to them what you're hearing, and constantly edifying, encouraging them, and asking them questions. To me, in my mind, it was like therapy has now become as if you took your car to the mechanic and said, my car's broke. And the first thing the mechanic asks you now is, well, how do you feel about your car being broke? You have conversations about how you feel. And then the mechanics asks you, well, what do you think is wrong with your vehicle? And then you guys work on that together. Then the mechanic asks you, well, what kind of tools do you think would be helpful in repairing your vehicle? And then you go over that. And then the mechanic asks you, well, do you think you could repair it yourself now? And then you do that. It's still $1,500,
Right.
but but it's that's the way it is. You don't just take it in and say, fix me now, like we do with our cars. It's a total different process with the therapy. And I love that. I love that it's, helping them find the tools to fix themselves within themselves, because I believe we possess it. As much as I talk to people and they'll say, well, I'm just this way, and that's just the way I do, and that's just the way I think. And I tell them, well, everything you do and think is something that you learn. You're responding to things that happened when you were younger. You're responding to times when you were afraid, and this is how you made yourself not feel afraid. This is times when you felt like you lost your power, and this is how you felt like you got your power back, by raising your voice, by being tougher, or hitting, or causing somebody else pain. And I said, these things can be relearned and unlearned, and you can change your behavior. Anybody can change their behavior if they truly desire to. I just think that a lot of people are very comfortable. Hey, this is what works for me. And I like getting angry, and I like throwing things, and I like scaring people, because then they get away from me and leave me alone. And it doesn't have to be that way. It can be gentle.
You can be gentle. And I pause, because sometimes, though, gentle doesn't work. And that's,
true.
I love all of the clients, but I'm also a reality-based person. I tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. And I think that has been very beneficial to a lot of my clients and to a lot of people in general, because people just fluff. You should do this or you should do that. But if you are really saying what you mean and meaning what you say, people respond better to that. So
I agree.
yeah. So
I do
I
agree.
agree with, I mean,
Tough
everything.
love.
Yeah. Lots of love. I
No,
love you. I'm going to tell you you're stupid, but I love you. Um,
when I say it can be gentle is people that feel like they have to respond with violence or
yes.
even a harsh word. I feel like they can be taught to share, with a more gentler approach. Um, I myself, I grew up where if somebody was being boisterous or being ignorant, it's like, South Side of Chicago. What's your problem? And and
What,
and
man?
I've learned.
What?
Yeah, what? There was an example. I was in Fry's grocery store the other day, and I was I went to the meat counter and got my number, and there was two other people with their number. And here's a lady standing down on the end, and the guy comes up. He calls out the number. She goes, "I don't have a number, but I've been here." And I was pretty sure she had just walked up, but she's ranting and raving, and she's talking to the people back there, and he's trying to be polite. Well, ma'am, everybody has the number. I'll take care of you, basically, so you'll shut up.
Yeah.
Um, but he's trying to be polite, and she's still railing this guy. And I just look, I observe the whole situation, and the lady looks at me, and you could see it. She did not like the fact that I was looking
Yeah.
at her. The fact she felt judged, and so she started charging toward me. So I just extended a hand up, like, no, you don't want to go past the hand. I need to feel safe in my
Mhm.
barrier. And she stopped right about where my hand was. And she says, "Go ahead, say it. Call me a fat Karen. Call me this." She did. She says, "Tell
Wow.
me I should shut my mouth." And she's doing all this. And she's just rah, 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 rah. And then I just looked at her when gave me a pause. I just said, just replay back everything that you've just said to the people hearing about yourself. I said, "Are you making the world a better place or worse?" And she snapped back, "I'm making it better for me." And I says, "Well, I understand." I said,
Wow.
"But we're in a community of humans. We all share these same places and same spaces." And you could see she wanted to snap some more, and she just kind of like digested it and walked off with her chicken. Yeah, that I mean, she got what she wanted, but I think I saw that as somebody that she was this way because she's so used to people snapping at her and reviling her and calling her names. And so she's ready. And she couldn't understand why I was looking at her without releasing a barrage of insults on her. I mean, she was fully anticipating it to the point where she wanted to provoke you. Like, go ahead, say it so I can confirm that you think this way about me. And that's not what I wanted to say to her. I just, just stop and think, play back everything that you've just said, and is this better or is this worse? And
That's a beautiful
yeah, so
way
you
to
could,
handle a Karen, or, I mean, not just a Karen, but a beautiful way to handle people in general.
sure. I mean, some people say, you should try just saying who hurt you or what's wrong with you, or is this your default? And I was like, I think it's just better to get people to just think about what's coming out of their mouth,
I do
because a
too.
lot of the thoughts leave the head without any real filter or anything to it. Just blah, they're barfing it up, and I just, hey, take a second to think about it. What you just said. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. 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 How do you feel about it? So, as we begin to kind of wrap up,
Oh, yep.
what's next for you besides the master's degree?
Okay. Uh, I tend to fully support my wife in this industry. One of the things that Rebel and I have talked about is, um, it's hard to keep the window open for a long time in the industry. A lot of people judge you by your age, by your shape, and other stuff. And although there are a lot of women in the industry that are going into their 50s, 60s, and even a few in their 70s still, and I like the way that they're marketing themselves. For Rebel and I, what we never want to feel like she's not a draw. We always want to be in the industry, and we always want to help. So one of our plans for both of us is we do have our own little studio called Chariot Productions right now, and excuse me, and we'd like to continue into the production side of the adult industry, even while I still believe Rebel's still at her. She hasn't plateaued. She's at this meteoric rise,
Yeah.
and she's still going up. And I hope it just continues and continues. But while she's doing that, we're also planning for other things so that we can produce more. And we'd like to do it simultaneously, and not like, okay, well, this is fizzling down, let's make this go up, but at the same time, so that we can have that strong and just be transition if she can't do as much or for whatever reason. We do want to have kids in the future still. That's one of our goals and stuff. I'm going to be the oldest dad on the planet, but that's okay. No, Charlie Chaplin was older.
Didn't Hugh Hefner own that title?
I thought it was Charlie Chaplin. Hugh Hefner, he went crazy, I think, before he was still making babies.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, from what I heard, but we could Google it though. Famous old father. See who's the oldest on that. I'll remember that next time if we do the show again. I'll definitely know who it was.
Yes.
But we want to have children too, and that's important to us. And we want to raise them very open minded, very down to earth people. We want we want to teach them to love everybody.
Yes.
But don't coddle. People need, as much as people want to have their feelings pampered over the truth, sometimes people just need to hear the truth and stuff. And
preach it.
I have so much on that. I'm not gonna coddle somebody a lie so they can feel good about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to endorse that or support that. I'm going to support them, and I'm going to love them and help them in every way possible. But yes, I want to raise up sound-minded, with a good foundation children,
Mm-hmm.
and that's in our future with children, being a therapist, continuing on with our legacy in the adult industry, and just continuing ministering to each other, just loving each other, supporting each other. We take care of each other. Even when she's on the road, we FaceTime every
Mm-hmm.
day. We talk about every single person each one of us shoot with. Neither one of us have ever vetoed anybody, but we still always retain that right.
Mm-hmm.
If we feel we get a check in our spirit that something is off, that we try to, we will talk to each other about it, because we don't want to do that. That's the future. I'm sorry we don't have longer to talk, because I could rattle on.
Well, we can do this again.
Yes.
So where can people find you guys and learn more about y'all?
The easiest one to find is my wife, Rebel Ryder. She's Rebel Ryder XXX on Twitter. I'm Rex Radiation on Twitter, just Rex Radiation. Both R's are capitalized. I don't know if it matters, but I'm Rex Radiation, married to the smartest woman on the planet. She's you can find us there. We both have I think I have an Instagram. I'm sure I do. I don't visit it much, but she does. She's faithful. She's loyal to all that stuff. She's Rebel Ryder on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, is just who I am in real life. So I don't think I'm going to give that out. But you can also find me on ManyVids and OnlyFans. But Rebel, you can find her everywhere. If you go to her Twitter, she's got a LinkedIn file and all the places that you can find her and contact her. And if you get a hold of her, you can get a hold of me. I pretty much do her scheduling and managing for that part. So if you ever write her and she doesn't write back, write me and DM me or whatever, and I'll make sure she gets the message, and I'll respond to you likewise and stuff. So yeah, we're easy. We're out there. Yep. We're easy enough to find.
Yes, absolutely. And I would love to have you back and talk more. You're just a charming person.
Well, thank you, dear. I thank you very much. And thank you so much, because what you represent in this adult industry and who you are and your commitment to mental health, there should be more people like you. And I love knowing that I know smart people, and you're a smart people. No, thank you, dear.
Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you. And again, thank you for taking your afternoon to spend with us. And hopefully our listeners will reach out and give you guys a look. There's so much to talk about, so much to look at. So, and
TikTok. I see you on TikTok. Yeah. I'm on TikTok too. I haven't started making TikToks yet, but soon.
Soon.
But Rebel has.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. We'll talk soon.
You're welcome, dear.
All right.
All right.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to listen to my show. I am Dr. Stephanie with Evolve Your Intimacy. And remember, you are not in this alone, and we are definitely here to help. You can learn more about all the amazing things that we do at evolveyourintimacy.com. And if you subscribe to our newsletter, you will receive free resources monthly to help you evolve your intimacy. Thank you again, and have a great night.